History is made as the first COVID-19 vaccines are administered here in California, when more doses are expected to arrive and when immunizations begin in San Diego. Plus, despite having the legal ground to do so, why many of San Diego's hospitals aren't mandating the vaccine for their staff. And a stranger's kindness helped save his life. Tonight, in our Season of Hope, ABC 10 News reconnects with a prostate cancer survivor about confronting his fear and finding much to be grateful for.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Have to be sober and mindful about the moment we are in, which is challenging and trying.
The number of COVID-19 cases is staggering and hospital beds are dwindling. And tonight, more than 300,000 Americans have now died from the virus. But there is cautious optimism as we begin to see California's vaccinations against the deadly virus finally roll out. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson. Kimberly Hunt has the night off. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco shares the story of healthcare workers making state history.
A quick shot in the arm and a round of applause. Kim Taylor, now part of California history. The ER nurse at Kaiser Permanente in LA is one of the first to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Governor Gavin Newsom, LA's mayor, and other elected officials listened as she talked about the last 9 months.
Sacrificing so much of what we do and love to take care of our patients. We've been doing this while trying to take care of our own families.
California's first shipment includes roughly 327,000 vaccines. The first group to get vaccinated will be frontline healthcare workers and nursing home residents.
The help is on the way. Today's just the first step.
The governor put that first step into perspective.
We have roughly 2.4 million healthcare workers. Today, we had 5 of our healthcare workers at least get the first shot of immunization.
The second dose of the vaccine expected in 3 weeks. The governor says roughly 2.1 million doses should arrive in California by the end of the year. Too late to help with the surge devastating hospitals across the state.
We are in the midst of the worst moment of this pandemic. So today is hopeful and it's reason to be optimistic, but let's be mindful of where we really are.
The governor says the positivity rate of 10.6% is nearly triple what it was just 6 weeks ago.
Today, we received as many doses in the entire state of California as there were new cases in the state of California, over 33,000.
Widespread vaccination is not expected before spring. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Vaccines will arrive at 24 more sites statewide tomorrow and 5 more on Wednesday. And this afternoon, doctors talked about the pending arrival of the vaccine at Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego. Today, the COO said that they will receive their shipment from FedEx and have already trained personnel on how to handle the doses and store them in the ultra-low freezers on site. They're also preparing for the days after the vaccinations to monitor workers for any adverse effects.
Have a very refined logistics plan, again, looking at those frontline workers that are more apt to come in contact with COVID patients or people who are under investigation. And so we're doing certain individuals within the department on a rolling basis. So potentially if there are side effects to that the whole department is not experiencing that and missing work as a result of that.
And then 3 weeks later, the workers are scheduled to get their second dose of the vaccine. Navy Medical Center San Diego received its first shipment of the COVID-19 vaccine today. Personnel will start getting the shots at the Balboa Park Hospital on Tuesday, and Camp Pendleton will administer its vaccines on Wednesday. The first doses will be given to frontline healthcare workers and first responders, including emergency medical services personnel and security forces in the military. Navy officials say the vaccine will be on a voluntary basis and is, at the time, not mandatory for military personnel. All right, here's the latest. The county reported 2,200 new COVID-19 cases today. That brings our total to just under 110,000. The county has not yet reported any new deaths from over the weekend. That's typical for a Monday. More than 1,100 San Diegans have lost their lives to the virus. Tonight, thousands of healthcare providers across San Diego are preparing to get the COVID-19 vaccine. This as ICU bed capacity in our region drops even more, now less than 3%. Local hospitals tell our ABC 10's reporter Jennifer Kastner that workers will not be required to get the vaccine if they don't want it.
A legal analyst told ABC 10 News Monday that a hospital mandate can be imposed, but so far that hasn't happened. As hospitals across San Diego gear up to distribute the COVID-19 vaccine to frontline workers, questions have been raised about whether receiving the vaccine will be mandated.
We will not make the vaccine mandatory. We do not make the normal flu vaccine mandatory. We do, however, require our staff to continue to wear masks throughout the entire flu season if they choose to not get the flu vaccine.
Diane Hansen is the CEO of Palomar Health. She told ABC 10 News that Palomar's policy will be no different with the COVID-19 vaccine. ABC 10 News spoke to hospital representatives Monday at Sharp Healthcare, Scripps Health, and Kaiser Permanente. They echoed Palomar Health's policy that the COVID-19 vaccine will not be mandated, but workers who decline to get it must wear PPE. Monday, ABC 10 News spoke to San Diego employment law expert attorney Dan Eaton.
Employers generally have the legal right to mandate vaccination in the private workplace, subject to accommodations for medical conditions and religious objections. But there is a broader ethical question about whether they ought to mandate vaccination.
The concern, he said, becomes whether mandating a resistant population creates a morale problem.
Whether at the end of the day you are really acting in a nurturing fashion towards your employees if you mandate a vaccination that they don't want or they don't trust.
And Eaton said it may be that at some point the state or federal legislature steps in some form or fashion with respect to mandatory vaccinations, but that's not the current case. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
And some of the hospitals that we spoke with today said that masks will still be required for staff members who have received the COVID-19 vaccine. Some people have shared their concerns with how quickly companies were able to develop an effective vaccine. It's a process that normally takes years. The COVID vaccines were being reviewed and approved took less than a year, though. To answer those questions and ease concerns, ABC is airing a special edition of 2020 Tonight, anchored by veteran newsman Bob Woodruff. He spoke with our Virginia Cha this morning on ABC 10 News at 11.
Technology and knowledge about science is so much better than any other vaccine before. So yeah, these don't take 5 years. We all thought a year and a half maybe, but now it's less than a year, which is incredible. And I think everybody's confident.
Again, ABC News is airing that 1-hour special edition of 2020 called The Shot, Race for the Vaccine. It aims to answer questions and address concerns about the COVID vaccine. It airs tonight at 10 right here on ABC 10. California is taking Amazon to court. Today, Attorney General Javier Becerra announced that he is asking a Sacramento County judge to force the online retail giant to comply with investigative subpoenas filed back in August. The AG wants information about COVID-19 case rates, prevention efforts, and sick policies from facilities across California.
If Amazon can next day deliver an 85-inch TV, it should be able to deliver to the Department of Justice the straightforward information we officially requested of them nearly 4 months ago.
An Amazon spokesperson told the LA Times they've been working cooperatively for months and that the claims of non-compliance don't line up with the facts. You can follow the latest coronavirus developments from vaccine distribution to business regulations with the ABC 10 News app. You can find it for free in the App Store. Less than an hour ago, El Cajon police released the picture of the man they believe dragged a police officer this morning. Police say they are looking for this man. He is 41-year-old David Pangilinan. Investigators say the officer found Pangilinan and his passenger asleep in a black SUV that was blocking a driveway. Police say when an officer tried to talk to them, the man first gave a fake ID, then tried to drive away. So the officer tried to stop that driver and ultimately was dragged down the street. An oncoming vehicle struck the officer, knocking him from the suspect vehicle. He suffered significant injuries. The driver left the car a couple of blocks away. And a driver has been arrested in connection with a deadly hit and run in Fallbrook last week. The CHP says their investigation led them to a 36-year-old Fallbrook man. They say that Pascual Cristobal was behind the wheel when that black pickup truck hit a 60-year-old woman who was just out for a walk on Thursday. The woman's husband, who was with her at the time, watched the truck speed off and helped CHP with its investigation. Tonight, President-elect Joe Biden is ready to put the election behind him and focus on the country. Just hours ago, he gave a speech from his home in Delaware. This comes after the Electoral College certified his win over President Trump. Biden addressed the Trump administration's efforts to undermine the election.
In America, politicians don't take power. People grant power to them. The flame of democracy was lit in this nation a long time ago. And we now know nothing, not even a pandemic or an abuse of power, can extinguish that flame.
The Trump administration, though, said it will continue to fight the results of this election.